أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. All praises and adoration belongs to Allah, the Lord of incomparable and inexhaustible majesty. Beseech Allah to shower His blessing and His mercy and His Prophet Muhammad Sallam, His household, His companion, His relatives, and every Muslim that follow this path till the day of judgment. I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And inshallah, this morning we shall be discussing a vital topic, which is Al-Ifa. Al-Ifa, it means to pardon people's mistakes, to pardon people's shortcomings. In other way, we can also say to be accommodating, to be tolerable. And by the nature that Almighty Allah has put in place for every human being, no man, no human is perfect. We are not impeccable. We are not infallible. We are prone to commit errors and mistakes. That is why we are defined as human. That human nature, it is coined from insan, someone with shortcomings, someone with flaws, somebody that is meant to fall victims of a lot of mistakes. So therefore, every one of us has this nature. That is why Allah told us in the Quran that فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَنِ اتَّقَى. Do not eulogize yourself. Do not praise yourself, because Allah knows the pious among you. That is why Islam also warned of us. He said Islam is not something of pride. Islam is not something of rivalry. Taqwa ahuna. The fear of Allah, it's what matters, and it resides here in the heart. And it's only Allah who can determine it, not human. So when we get the fact that we are all victims of mistake, that will give us the insight to manage any forms of encounter we have from any human being. And the scholars did a kind of analysis of nature of what could engender or what could lead to, committing errors, crossing a barrier, or offending a fellow human being. We can be offensive by mistake, unknowingly, unintentionally. That is a mistake. And we can also commit offense by being forgetful. It's possible you are forgetful. And the third one is we can be offensive out of ignorance, out of ignorance. And the fourth one, it can also be offensive purposefully, intentionally. And we can see that from the case of Prophet Adam when Allah told him the Quran that وَلَا تَقْرَبَ هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةَ وَتَكُونَ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Adam, do not go near this forbidden tree, so you will not be among the ingrates. But Adam, Prophet Adam alayhi salam, did this out of ignorance because he was confused by Shaitan. He was confused. He's ignorant. That is why when he committed this mistake or this offense, he immediately returned back to Allah and sought forgiveness. He said, ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكن من الخاسرين. And Allah forgave him. If you also see the case of Abil and Khabila, Khabila killed Abila purposefully, intentionally, because he knew, or because of his own volition, his wishful desire, he killed him. So we should be conscious of how we treat cases of offenses. We should avoid being general. We shouldn't generalize it, because one of the mistakes that we, at the recipient hand, at the receiving hand, the offended person, part of the mistake we make is that we generalize. For example, as a teacher in the school, you go into the classroom to deal with pupils. Perhaps they are noise makers, they're making noise. You need to bring out the noise maker. You don't just beat all the children at a stretch because of the fact that they are making noise. You don't generalize in Islam. You caution them. So therefore, when people offend you, Islam wants you to have an open heart, to be tolerable, to pardon people's shortcomings. And this act of tolerance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned it to us in the Quran. He said that الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. He said those who spend their money at the time of ease and times of harsh, and those who swallow their anger, and overlook people's mistakes, and do good towards them. Allah said that Allah loves those who uphold goodness. Allah said He loves them. So if we have this tolerable and this accommodating nature, that you try as much as possible to forgive people's shortcomings, Allah loves you. Yuhibbul muhsinin. You swallow your rancor, your anger, Hassan also said that ليس الشديد من غلب الناس ولكن الشديد من غلب النفس عند الغضب. He said, he is not the powerful, the one who conquer people, the one who defeat people by wrestling. But the powerful one is that who is able to conquer his soul, his mind when being offended, when he's hungry. So he's able to curtail, is able to bring under control his anger. Allah loves them. Because we have seen a lot of cases today where people end up, inflicting injury, we end up killing, we end up damaging, we end up, imprisoning others, and what have you. Because of what? Because of we have altercation, we offend one another. Cases end up, in enmity, unended enmity. That's why Allah is encouraging you and I to always have a wide and large heart to accommodate people's shortcomings. Because if you do that, you are the powerful one, and Allah loves you. We can paint a scenario from the lifestyle of Prophet Muhammad. All his enemies from Makkah, when Salam conquered Makkah, Al-Makarrama, he forgave all of them. He set them free. He did not take revenge. But you and I today, when people offend us, when people, do things that pains you and I, how do we react? How do we react? We went or we go extra miles to retaliate, to have a kickback. We refuse to bury the hatchet. We decide to take the bull by the horn. No. We have to be patient. Then, in this scenario, as far as Islam is concerned, we can have a lot of cases where people offend us or you offend somebody. We should also be the type who also come to our sense and seek forgiveness. We seek forgiveness. We try as much as possible to let go. If you offend somebody and your attention is called to it, don't be arrogant. Don't be pompous to say, I'm sorry. To let go. That is why I told us in Surah Al-Hujurah. So when you see people having issue, having altercation, having crisis, and you settle them, resolve it. But if there's a particular party that refuse settlement, that object settlement, that's it. You should collectively wage war against that party until that party submits to the request for settlement. where Islam stands. We should always look for a way to forgive ourselves, to accommodate ourselves, to be tolerable, to give ourselves excuses that what he has done is not intentional, it's by mistake, it's out of ignorance. Even our parents at times, we don't give our children excuse. The next thing is to hit them, to slap them, to abuse them, to rough handle them on minor issue. Our minors are pupils in school, our students. We maltreat them. Perhaps he makes a noise, perhaps he refuses to do assignment, perhaps he refuses to do domestic work apportioned to him or her. The next thing is we start beating. We can look for excuses for them as well. So that is what Islam has established for us, to be tolerable. And we have seen from the ayahs of Al-Imran that Allah yuhibbul muhsinin. And I say He loves them. And I even refer to them as Ibadur Rahman, the servant of the most compassionate God, those that have this tolerable hearts. وعباد الرحمن الذين ينهون في الأرض وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. They are always peacemakers. I have seen cases where in the traditional Prophet Salam, where we have seen issue of people that having altercation. That Prophet Salam said that fear Allah over this altercation. You are somebody having an issue and you brought a case before me. It's possible that you as an individual, you might be very vocal. You talk and I justify giving justice over somebody who is not being vocal. If I granted justice, you know that on the day of Qiyamah, the justice will be revoked. It's going to be taken back from you. So we should fear Allah in dealing with one another. We should be tolerable in the value of our individual shortcomings. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.